Hi guys, good afternoon. My name is David and I'm your host on Raw Conversation. With me today I've got my friend, my childhood friend. Her name is Debola Oludare. Hi Debola.
Hi, David.
Thanks for coming on the show to join us today.
Thank you for having me on this raw conversation.
Yeah, thank you. So today we're just going to talk about something very a bit sensitive, yeah, because we have some parents in law that watch, including my mother-in-law. She watches Raw Conversation. So mommy, nothing personal. It's just conversation. I love you. So let me send that disclaimer out there before
Before the
we
call.
get we get the show rolling. Yeah. Okay. So talking about the influence of in-laws in marriages and also that influence on childbearing when it comes to marriages. So we've had in-laws that say they want their kids to have child almost immediately they got married, and some are not mentally ready, some are not financially ready. But then the parents has a way of saying, "Don't worry, what the child will
They
bring from
bring it from
heaven."
heaven.
You understand? And me, I've not seen any child that had come to this world with bag of beans.
They should
Is
even
it for
try and come with diaper.
Gary? Is it for Dodo? Yeah, you know. So I've not seen any of those. So what's your take on influence of in-laws in all of this? Yeah.
Okay, the pressure is a lot in this side of the world.
Mm.
For most people, it even starts from wedding reception. Reception is just ending.
Yeah.
The husband and the wife, they are just leaving. And in-laws are already starting. In the next 9 months, we want to come and eat rice.
Back to back rice. They chop one
They,
now 9 months. They
you
want chop
begin to
another one.
wonder, be taking it easy.
Yeah.
But, aside from the in-laws, they say it. Some people would actually mean it. Some people just say it because it's for saying sake.
Yeah, because
But in a
they wish you
situation,
goodwill. Yeah, yeah,
because they wish that the union will be fruitful, so
yeah.
they just say that. But for some, I've had people that for real, it was like for real, for real. It wasn't like they were just saying it. They expect that first snack that people are going to Basbos that night should produce their first grandchild and all of
Speaking
that.
about the first snack, do people actually have sex the night of their wedding? Like, after all the shayo, after you're tired and all that, and then you
Speaking
still
from
wonder,
experience, I slept.
hey, you understand that you still want that first snack for where? Well,
So you just begin to, but then for the couple, it comes down to the couple.
yeah,
If as the husband you
Yeah.
fall for the pressure, if as the wife both of you fall for it, good for you. But just be sure that you are ready for children,
yeah,
because in marriage, parenting is like another phase
yeah,
of marriage entirely. But for some people, they will say, they want to have the children immediately.
Yeah.
Good. But I personally, raw conversation is my opinion. So I'm
Yeah.
not saying that this rule should apply to everyone.
everyone, yeah,
I feel that for couples, when you get married, there's a lot of learning, unlearning. You guys will fight, you will disagree,
Yeah,
and all of that.
sure.
I think you should do that in the first 1 year.
Mm.
Enjoy the marriage, fight, settle, and all of that. Because when the child now comes, you need to learn how to take care of that child,
Yeah,
how to be responsible.
yeah,
Then your wife is learning motherhood, the father is learning fatherhood.
yeah,
So imagine that you're doing that in the first year of your marriage. So if it works for you, good. But if it's from pressure, I think you should have a way to communicate with your parents,
yeah,
with both your husband in-laws and then the wife in-law.
Yeah.
There's a way that people can communicate. I think communication works through all of this. And if peradventure your in-laws don't listen, some people, they don't listen. What you can do is to say, okay, ma, there's no crime in okay.
I
we
mean,
have heard.
there's no crime in acknowledging what you've said, anyways. I mean,
There's no
but
crime
then
in that. So
you
if
still
you
have to
try
have your plan, yeah.
communicating and it doesn't work, just say, okay, ma, we are trying. When they ask you again, ma, put us in prayer, we are still trying. So you can keep pushing it like that till you are ready.
Well, but if you tell them that okay, you're still trying. I might not have seen this in real life, but I've seen a couple of Nollywood movies while I was growing up, and then the mother-in-law will start saying, "Oh, it is your wife that has problem, or it is your husband that has gone to do something outside when he was young. That's why I cannot have a child anymore." I mean, that also leaves another form of pressure on both couple. Again, from my own hand, I honestly think that for me, I think life is all about planning. And then if you have your plan and you're not influenced by the rush from external bodies, then you'd be able to make a good plan. However, so I've seen cases whereby guys said, you know what, I really wanted a child before I got married. And now that now that I'm married rather, I want that child almost immediately. And like you said, I think it's also good for couple to try and know each other and know, because I've had this. I don't know if you've had this before, but if you have, I really want your opinion on this. I've had someone say to me that my the moment we had the child, immediately after we got married, the love and attention we had for each other shifted to the child, and we don't even create time for ourselves anymore, and we just focus on raising the child. And before I think of my wife, I think of my son first, and all of that. What's your take?
I don't think there is entirely any lie in what you had just said,
Yeah.
because the truth is we are human,
Mm.
especially for the women. I'm going to speak for women here because we are very
Shit.
guilty.
I'll speak for the man.
We are very guilty of this when we have children.
Okay, we are not guilty of that.
The moment we have children, you are hearing my child, my child, my child, and if you are not careful, your husband is just looking at you. So you're running back and forth, my
Yeah.
child. Oh, I'm thinking, oh, my child. Oh, in the night, your husband might want to do mommy and daddy, and then you're like, please let me quickly go and check on my child. You know, you are just, women are very guilty of that, and before you know it, time has gone.
Yeah. Oh, true.
You're counting 6 months already.
Yeah.
You're counting 1 year already. And, you know, it just builds that disconnection. Apart from people, of course, that have a lot of relatives to rely on to help them. If you like people staying in your
Yeah.
house and you have a lot of people around and you are not so bothered about my child. But if you have to carry the responsibility of not seeing that child alone, it can actually just
You know,
make couples draw apart, really.
I have a friend here, and apparently, he insisted on his fiancée getting pregnant before the actual marriage, the actual wedding. Which one is marriage? Marriage is the wedding is the party.
Wedding is the party. Marriage
Uh-huh.
is like the forever
so
thing.
yeah, so he actually wanted the wife to get pregnant before the wedding, and it was because the parents-in-law, his own parents, insisted that they need to be sure that the daughter she's bringing is fertile enough to have a baby for him. And in my head, I'm like, okay, that's what works for. I don't want to say, are you sick, but
Are they sure their son is even fertile?
because that's the question. Because what if it's the son that is not even
What
fertile
if-
enough
What if
to
it's the
provide?
son?
I mean, it's just normal thing. But I've had it from someone close to me,
Well,
and I've had it severally.
sadly, that's what ladies have to face in some tradition. Some people will tell you it's traditional. I've had that. And yeah, like, was it last year or 2 years ago? One of my sister's friend was actually in the same position. And, you know, they are told her that she had to get pregnant before they do the official wedding and all of that. They are Muslims. And, you know, she didn't have a problem with it. But I was asking my sister, like, what if she doesn't get pregnant? Does that mean they won't get married? You know, couples trying to even conceive, doctors will say you can keep trying for the next 6 months and you might not even get pregnant. So what if they keep trying for the next 6 months?
Okay, so
I don't get
let's
pregnant.
touch this part a bit, yeah. So, well, our whole generation down to the Gen Z generation, they speak a lot about surrogacy and likes of it. But a typical Nigerian parent, especially if you're Yoruba or Igbo, I feel like generally in Nigeria, they don't know, they don't want to hear anything about surrogacy. So how do you want to explain to your parents-in-law that you're having a child through surrogacy? And do you think it's something that an African parent will ever accept?
It might take them a long time to accept. At least, I think in recent times, say 2 years ago, it's now becoming more popular. But about 4 to 5 years ago, it was something that nobody even wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
But about 5 years ago, I knew somebody that did it. But she had to lie that she was pregnant. She had to do the whole tummy thing and all of that. And then when she was like 6 months gone, she left Nigeria and went to the UK. But eventually,
You came back with the baby.
she came back with a baby. And the family believed. But people that were close to her and we that we knew that nobody she carried the pikin. It was another person that carried the baby for her. But you know, we are a society that, because we don't want to accept the truth, we like to live the lie.
Yeah.
So people just go ahead and just lie. And then people are scared of
Acceptance.
acceptance.
Yeah,
Okay, so
how
this
would people
child
see
is
this?
surrogacy. And I had this child through surrogacy. Imagine children can be very naughty.
Yeah.
You know, you have a toddler that now did something naughty now. Then your in-laws will just go, aha,
He's not our child.
is that blood of the person that carried the
Yeah,
child
he's
like
not- he's
running
not-
in this child?
he's not our child.
Those things just make people scare away from this thing. But these are things that we cannot do away with.
Yeah.
In fact, we should be grateful to science that there is now the opportunity for surrogacy.
Yeah.
That's the truth. If I say these things, I used to tell my mom, I just hope that my mother-in-law doesn't watch this. I'm praying.
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
she's not this on YouTube.
Okay, it's
So I
alright.
used to tell my mom jokingly that being that my first pregnancy, I was sick for like 6 months. It wasn't
Yeah.
something that I enjoyed. Do you understand? That if peradventure I just leave Nigeria like this, say people see that I pack my bag and I go to UK or
jackpot.
US, I've jackpot. Just know that if I give birth to a second child, no be me carry that pikin. So I used to tell them jokingly, but these are things that we don't even want to talk about.
Yeah.
There are some women that their womb cannot hold a baby. What will
Sure.
they do? But they have the egg, and if they carry the pregnancy for say 6 months, it will drop.
Yeah, true.
If they carry it for 5 months, it will drop. And then see science offering you another person to carry it for you. Is your egg, is your husband's sperm, is still your DNA. But our society is just very
Yeah,
funny.
I think parents.
But
parents
when you try to explain to your in-law, pray that you have educated in-laws.
What if you don't?
If you try to explain to them, if they understand, good.
I mean, during my
If they don't understand, my honest advice,
during my
lie
marriage
to
counsel,
them.
during my marriage counseling, yeah, I could remember this day. The guy said so I can't remember the question the counselor asked. So it was myself, my wife, and then another set of couple that we did the marriage counseling together. And this guy said, "Oh, if the wife needs to serve him food, he needs to bring the food to the table. He needs to kneel down, give him the food, and when he's done eating, she needs to come and pack the plate, and all of that. And the question I asked was, okay, why is it that he's like that? I mean, he's a young guy, but that's what he's doing at the moment. He was doing as at that time, actually. And my question to him was why, and then the answer he gave was the fact that was how he learnt it from his parent, and he believes he has that mindset of that's how he should go through all the time. But then this is it for me, is this guy has learnt a lot from the parent, and he believes that his family should live that same way also. So when you speak to, even some men still don't accept surrogacy, and that's the funny part of it. Well, we're not speaking about surrogacy, we're talking about the influence of the in-laws. So another point I want to touch on real quick would be child spacing, basically. So child spacing, basically, a lot of parents don't believe in child spacing, and I don't understand why they don't believe in it. They believe that okay, have all the babies you want to have in 3 months, in 3 years rather, and then you're done with it. And I feel like it's a lot of pressure on the woman. It's a lot of pressure on the family, because raising a child these days is not even is no longer cheap. So, what's your take on that? And I know you have real life experience on child spacing at the moment, considering
that my son is 4.
your son is 4 already. so
this spacing thing, okay, there are some points that I would just have to say, like, okay, this is me. When I was going to get married, I told my husband that we're going to space our children, like, reasonably well. And
4 years is reasonably well, yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I've not been getting subtle undertone from
Yeah.
in-laws, whether my
Like
mom.
when is the
in
next
fact,
one?
In fact, my mom is the number one person that pressured me more. Not even my mother-in-law. My mom is the cheerleader. So she comes like, this year, God will do it. I say I don't have problem. So there's nothing God is doing. It's me that needs to be ready. And then one day she said something, and I told her that, see, you see this boy here is a proof that I'm not barren. I can actually get pregnant. But when we are ready. And this is because people should have picture of what you said, something about planning.
Yeah.
What do you want to give to your children?
Sure.
How well do you want to take care of these children? SMA, small one, is now 8,000 something. This small one.
SMA is the food, yeah?
Yes, the food is 8,000 something. And they take it for 5 days. So
So that means that's about 40K in a month. Yeah?
exactly.
More than minimum wage.
So you need to be sure that in the end you don't want to follow this advice and then I'll give them a camel and cowbell.
Cowbell, our milk.
So we need to plan these things. There
Yeah.
are times that you can actually plan. You need to plan. So spacing is very good, But people will come from the debate of a woman's body. If you
Yeah.
give it so much time, it can get tired. The next pregnancy will stress you. The next this will stress you. Even when we have not done it before, the first one stressed us.
I mean, considering the fact that I've been married for 3 years plus, and I've had so many feedbacks.
My brother,
I've
how
had so many.
are you doing it?
I've had so many feedbacks as to, oh, he has probably done something, that's why he can't get his wife pregnant. Yeah, and then for us, it's just basically planning. It's not. I mean, it's good to have a child. We want one, but it's not the time. It's not. We're not ready for it yet. And
Please help me hug your wife
But-
when you see her. I can imagine.
but the point is, I've had all sort of things of, oh, they can't have a child, they can't do this, they can't do. I mean, and I feel like people say all sort of things that they choose to say, but deep down inside, I feel like you're not in my shoes. You don't know what I would do. You can't tell me what to do because you're not the ones in that shoes. So you can't just say, "Oh, just go ahead and have a child." Or no. And good thing is I've got good parents-in-law. They've never for once asked or pressure to say, "Why haven't you?"
You're very
Or
lucky.
something. So I think some people are lucky like me that they are not under that pressure, while some people constantly. In fact, right now, I have a friend that the mother is already talking to him about second wife, just because they chose to plan themselves, but the mother would not understand why.
So she assumed that the
so
wife has a problem.
She assumed the wife has a problem, and the husband is covering up for what's it called, for the wife. But apparently there's no problem, but it's just part of their plans. And then I wonder why the mother was always speaking to, oh, there's one girl that she knows. The girl is a very good girl in their church.
So the guy is very fatter.
Yeah, I feel like I said I touch and follow.
Multi-tested.
What's my test? No, about test. So about test, how you want to take no? I mean, I said I touch and follow because honestly, I really don't understand. However, we've got a few minutes left, and then there's one part that used to trend back in the days. I don't know if people still do it, but parents-in-law actually encourage newly married couple to take in a younger one, either from both parties, especially mostly from the wife's family, and that has been rampant for a long time now. And like I said, I don't know if it still happens in this generation, but a whole lot of people still do it. A lot of parents still suggest and say, you know what, we are getting old, you have a younger one. Or let's say, for example, the way we live in Abuja now, and let's say my parents-in-law stays in Shagam, and they feel like there's no opportunity. I mean, no disrespect to Shagam people, but I feel
Just
like there's
insulted my city. We don't call Shagam village. It's like city. Go ahead.
And then they randomly just say, you know what, there's not so much opportunity in Shagam, so why don't you go and stay with your sister in Abuja that just got married to a guy that lives in Abuja, not leaving out the fact that the sister self, they just bring her come from Shagam. So person they carry you come from Shagam,
Don't carry
still
on.
carry another person come, who go help you, don't go feel stress you. But this one look like say that stress for the man. I mean, a lot of men might not be able to complain initially, but oftentimes a lot of women complain about having their brother's younger one living with them in most cases. What's your take?
You know the beauty of these things, eh? The men that don't complain, I don't know how. Because, say my husband, as you are bringing the child or you are even suggesting it, he's already telling you that before I married your daughter, Shay, wasn't it in your house? He would ask, he would ask this question. But, back in the days, they used to call it Omo Yawo.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they give
Yeah,
it
that's
to
the-
Yoruba people. So the concept is they are giving you this child so that you can help the wife, and in return, you can train the child.
But why should that be my responsibility?
That is, but as you have offered that is to help, no problem. I can help my wife, so you can train your child. But if you have in-laws that now insist, and then another thing is with the modern generation, man, they are the ones that can outrightly say no, but they are the ones that are
See,
trying to prove.
I like the English use modern generation man. Then get Chris for it. One son lorry.
Exactly.
Like-
Then they are the ones that are trying to prove to their in-law that we are financially capable.
Yeah.
You want to prove a point, then you take on the burden that is not your own.
Yeah, I
You're
feel like
training
it's
a
too
child.
much.
So I
of
feel like it's too
responsibility.
much of a responsibility,
Yeah.
and you people should talk these things through.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what I think.
Okay.
So it's too much of a responsibility, honestly, especially if he's now a teenage boy.
Yeah.
They can't.
And they're very destructive, actually. They can eat and they're very
And
destructive.
because they are in their age of exploring, before you know, you just come to your house and meet them and babe. Voila.
You go back Shaka daddy.
So-
Now night bus go carry you reach
So
Shaka
you know,
daddy.
it's just a lot. And in-laws should just take it easy.
Yeah,
We understand. We
think
understand
so,
that they
yeah.
want to have control. We understand that they are feeling like I need to protect my child's
Yeah.
interest and all of that. But in the end, these people have started their own family.
Yeah, yeah.
So they are building something that they also want to last.
yeah.
So they should take it easy. Like
Yeah.
they should just take it easy.
I think our time is up right now, but my last statement, I'll just give you 10 seconds to your last statement. But my last statement for me would be, I honestly feel like not in-laws, our parents generally, you've lived your life, you've experienced things, you've made your own mistakes. Allow us to also explore these things. I mean, by the time you check our parents' age and you subtract it from ours, you find out that our parents were getting pregnant 19, 20, 21. That means now on the knack since. But us, if you
Honestly.
see us say we carry babe or we dey follow babe, you go come out say. I mean, so I think our parents, you've made your mistakes. Yeah, we get the point. We know. It's also good that you're guiding us and you're praying for us. But good thing is, allow us make our mistakes. Allow us be in our marriage and enjoy our marriage. Let us make our decision. Except the marriage is now toxic. That's when I feel like you should have an influence, so much influence on the marriage. From the angle I feel is from the angle of prayer, being supportive. Send a lubo, send Gary, we'll take it. Thank you.
Like my mother-in-law, she's
Yeah.
like my lubo and Gary.
They're
plug.
expensive in Abuja, so send a lubo, send Gary, Jack Manla, we'll take it all from you. Thank you. Yeah, I think thank you for sending all those to us. So, what's your last take on this?
So my last take will be that for in-laws, understand that these two children that you have now joined in holy
Yeah.
matrimony, they've become one. And they are trying to work something through. They
Yeah.
are trying to build
True
a lot
that.
of things together. So what you can best do is pray for them. They would build, they will fail. There are times that they would be tired.
Yeah.
But it's not in your place to add to their pressure. Let them
True.
walk through this life ourselves. Imagine that I have a 9-year a baby that is about to walk.
Yeah.
And all the time I keep holding the baby. Oh yeah, be walking, be walking. That child will never learn to walk. Because I'm always giving support. Until I let them walk, fall, stand up, fall, stand up. Then they would, over time, learn to walk on their own. So just...
I think the bus should be a motivational speaker.
Just-
What do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think. I think she should be a
leave these
motivational
young
speaker.
couples to fall and rise, and over time they'll learn to walk and navigate life
All
properly.
right. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for watching today. We want you guys to like, comment, share, and then subscribe to the YouTube channel. You see the icon at the lower part of the screen. Thank you, and see you on next episode. Bye.
Bye.